Every year, people ask the same question. Is the console version of Football Manager finally going to be as good as the PC version? With FM26 bringing a new engine, a redesigned UI, and women's football for the first time, it might be the year where we finally see that gap between PC and console start to close. Hello folks, I'm Kev, welcome along to the channel. I'm going to be posting daily FM26 videos as soon as we hit that all-important early access, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of those. And if you are planning to buy FM26 so you get that early access, don't forget you can do that via my pre-order link down in the description below. It's cheaper than Steam, still includes that early access and helps support the channel as well. Now, before we look forward, let's just set the scene and make sure we're all on the same page about where we've been. For years, Football Manager on PC and Mac has been the full fat experience. It has every database, every option, all the mods, and then we've got the console versions, the ugly sister, whether it's on Xbox or PlayStation, or goodness me, the Switch. These have been, let's be kind, let's say they're more streamlined versions of the game where you have fewer nations, simpler scouting, lighter tactics screen, no custom skins, no editor. I hate using the term, but it's the dumbed down version, and that's what everyone refers to it as. Now, FM24 did take a decent step towards starting to close the gap. The console edition did share the same match engine as the PC version, cross-save worked with Game Pass, and feature parity was closer than it's ever been before, but there were still some obvious gaps. Things like the limited database sizes, fewer playable leagues, the editors, there's no pre-game editor, there's no in-game editor, and some of the more advanced scouting, data, and custom tactical options aren't there either. So there is still a way to go to close the gap, which is where FM26 comes in, because Sports Interactive have confirmed that FM26 is going to be moving to the Unity engine with a completely rebuilt interface. And that is big news for console players, because the new UI from day one to scale across PC, Mac, Xbox, and PlayStation. They've also said women's football will be part of the same game world on every platform, not a separate game mode. They're looking to get everything all the same everywhere, which is good. And all of that means we might finally see the gap between the PC and the console version of the game shrink. And there are two big reasons why they're shrinking. One is that shared technology. If the whole game runs on Unity with the same user interface on the front end, there's less reason for the console to lag behind. And from what we've seen of the PC user interface so far, it looks like it's been designed to work just as well with a keyboard and mouse, a games controller, or a touchscreen, which has to be a good thing, especially for people like me who really just want to be able to play it comfortably on the Steam Deck. That would be lovely. And then, of course, we've got player demand. I mentioned it at the start of the video, but every announcement post, every one of these videos that I make is full of console users asking for parity between the two games. And SI keep mentioning they want FM26 to be the most accessible version of the game ever. So there's got to be something they're working towards. And let's not forget, more people play on console these days than PC. So it doesn't really make sense to keep the best version of the game hidden away from the majority of the players. And of course, I know there will always be some limits. Things like mods, custom graphics, the editors, they are quite hard to support on Xbox or PlayStation. Not impossible, but quite hard. Database sizes might always have to stay smaller because of the lower technical specifications of a console, storage issues, stuff like that. And also keyboard heavy tasks are challenging on a controller interface. Things like mass editing training, anything that's going to involve lots of clicking on very specific part of the screen, stuff like that's always going to be faster on PC. So it makes sense to optimize for a controller where the controller is going to be what the majority of people use. That being said, if they're giving us the option to use a controller of the PC version, who's to say they won't make it possible to plug a keyboard and mouse into the Xbox version? And then if you had a system that could change depending on the controller input you were using, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? My personal prediction, do I think FM26 is going to totally close the gap between PC and console? No, probably not. But I do think they'll be the closest together they've ever been, because console players should get the new UI, they should get the same match engine, they should get women's football, and hopefully there's less reason for them to have the fewer nations, the less tactical depth. So hopefully that stuff's going to be in as well. Because looking at it from a logistical point of view, if they're redesigning all of that and rebuilding it for the new engine, it makes sense to only do it once and put that across every version rather than building the tactics stuff multiple times, if that makes sense. PC is always going to win for modding, for the most complexity and all that kind of stuff. But I am hoping the days of the console version being watered down might be coming to an end. And as usual, I'll be playing and testing every version of the game on release on every platform as soon as they release. So keep an eye out for those videos close to launch. I obviously can't play them all on launch day, but within a week or so of launch, I'll have played every version on every platform. And I'll be testing things like how many leagues can you load, how many players can you load on console, on handheld, although the Switch version isn't out for a month, I don't think. We'll be looking at other new scouting and data screens the same across different versions. Does cross-save exist? And some of this stuff we might know before we get hands-on with them, or we might have to wait until we've got our sticky little fingers on them. Are the training and the tactics menus the same? Is the depth the same? All of that is going to be covered here on the channel, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on all of that. And if you do want to see me make more console content for FM26, support videos like this one. Tell me you want to see console content and I'll make it. I like views. But let me know what you think. Will FM26 finally make the console and the PC versions, I don't want to say identical, closer together? Or do you think there's just always going to be a big gap between the two? Drop your thoughts down in the comments below. Hit like if you found this video useful and subscribe for all those launch day or launch day adjacent guides that I was talking about before. And remember, if you're planning on buying FM26 only on PC, I don't have a link for the console one, but if you are planning on getting the PC or Mac version, I've got a link down below that will save you money, get you early access and support the channel. So go check that out. It's lovely. But for now, thanks for watching. And whether you're going to be playing FM26 on Xbox, PC, PlayStation, I'll see you as soon as the game drops.